817 hash. Star 811 star 817 hash.
Well, it's the third day of August 2021. You are in time for KBC Prime Edition. My name is Mboya.
My name is Museo. Thank you so much for joining us for Prime Edition this Tuesday, the third day of August 2021. Welcome to a comprehensive coverage. We have quite a lot in store for you that includes business and sports news.
But first, let's look at tonight's highlights.
Having removed the clutches of NASA from our hands, we now can freely engage and actualize legally the existence of One Kenya Alliance.
Gone with the winds. Raila Odinga's led National Super Alliance coalition dead as three partners walk out of the marriage.
It's worrying news as Kenya's COVID-19 infections stubbornly remain on an upward trajectory.
Uproar in Parliament over Deputy President William Ruto's botched Uganda trip as a number of legislators seek answers. A very warm welcome to you from wherever you're watching us in Nairobi and around the world.
Absolutely. Remember, you can interact with us at KBC Channel 1 News. The hashtag to use is Prime Edition. Welcome to the broadcast. Let's now get started. And the National Super Alliance is officially dissolved following the formal withdrawal of three key partners: Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi, Wiper Democratic Movement leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and Ford Kenya counterpart Moses Wetangula appended their signatures, consequently ending the life of the coalition that came to a close second in Kenya's 2017 general election.
They gathered here at Hermosa Gardens Hotel in Nairobi's Karen Estate for the last stroke that broke the back of NASA, the political party they all rode on close to victory in the 2017 general election. According to the NASA agreement, the coalition stands dissolved if three affiliate parties leave. The now former principals of NASA saying they made the decision to be free to forge a new path to victory in 2022 general election. Speaking after a joint parliamentary group meeting, the leaders said all instruments giving effect to the decision has been processed by each party in accordance with their respective party constitutions.
Having removed the clutches of NASA from our hands, we now can freely engage and actualize legally the existence of One Kenya Alliance.
That it will no longer be news if you're coming to ask us about NASA. It is behind us. Let us now look at new formations, new reorganizations, the way the parties here, and remember, One Kenya is not a closed shop.
Ijulikane na wananchi wote wa Kenya na hata marafiki zetu duniani kote kwamba muungano wa One Kenya Alliance tuko imara, tuko tayari.
The three allude to mistrust they allegedly blamed on Raila Odinga-led ODM.
Through what our statement described as a trust deficit, bedeviled by machinations and selfish maneuvers by some of our members.
They said Okoa Kenya Alliance is open to working with like-minded individuals and parties.
We know that we need to form a political colossus ambayo ushindi utadhihirika wazi.
And you'll be seeing this team and those who are going to join us, and there are many, striving across the country to give Kenyans a new direction in terms of how this country moves on.
Other parties that formed the coalition, including Raila Odinga's Orange Democratic Movement and Isaac Ruto's Chama cha Mashinani, ODM, on Thursday last week announced its decision to exit the coalition, but is yet to formally notify the registrar of political parties. CCM has not officially made any comments regarding the exodus from NASA. Suleiman Yeri, Prime Edition.
As the National Alliance was being dissolved, a section of members of the National Assembly have questioned circumstances under which Deputy President William Samoei Ruto was Monday blocked from traveling to Uganda. Led by Ruaraka Member of Parliament TJ Kajwang, the MPs sought authority from the Speaker to discuss what they termed as a matter of national importance. They said that the incident had been politicized and used to expose the Deputy President to ridicule. Ben Chumba is on that story.
A section of lawmakers allied to Deputy President William Ruto and ODM leader Raila Odinga faced off in Parliament over Ruto's aborted trip to Uganda.
I was having a private travel to Kampala, Uganda. And Mr. Speaker, I was told ostensibly that I needed some clearance from some quota, Mr. Speaker, which is against the law and against all regulations.
It is so serious that a whole deputy president can be exposed and ridiculed in the manner that I saw yesterday, just because of failure of protocol people.
We cannot pretend to be talking on behalf of the deputy president. That is ridicule, and we cannot allow that.
The lawmakers led by Ruaraka MP TJ Kajwang demanding to know the reasons why Deputy President William Ruto, who was in the company of 3 members of parliament, was not cleared to leave Wilson Airport to Entebbe, Uganda.
Mr. Speaker, this is a matter of national importance. That a deputy president can be bad. We must know the reason. We must know whether the honorable members of parliament had sought the Speaker's attention as is required under the standing orders.
A deputy president visits a neighboring country, the protocol officers needs to know that there must be a consultation between the office of the deputy president and the office of the presidency.
Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen, through his Twitter account, was quick to castigate the government over the incident, saying Deputy President has never required permission to travel. This even as a section of Rift Valley Council of Elders weighed on the matter, claiming the incident was unfortunate as the country heads to the 2022 general election. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Let's now stay with politics. Former National Super Alliance principals Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and Musalia Mudavadi, as well as Moses Wetangula, have urged political leaders to be in the forefront in uniting Kenyans. The leaders at the same time urged the religious leaders to take up their roles and pray for the country as it gears up to the 2022 general election. The leaders were speaking during the burial of late Mama Nancy Muthoni Kibe, mother to businessman Joel Kibe, at her home in Kabati Kandara in Murang'a County. All leaders eulogized Muthoni as the voice of women who empowered the needy in the society.
Alikuwa ni mama ambaye alikuwa amependa watu yake, na sio tu watoto yake ambaye alizaa, lakini jamii kwa jumla. Manake tunatofautisha umuhimu ya binadamu kulingana na vitendo vyake. Vile wewe umepigana na yale maadui matatu makubwa ya binadamu: ugonjwa, ujinga na umaskini.
Hata kama alikuwa kule, alikuwa anapigania haki na ukweli kwa Wakenya. Kwa hivyo tunaomba Mungu ailaze roho yake mahali pema peponi, na tena afariji familia ya mzee Kibe.
ilikuwa ni mzungu arudi kwao, Mwafrika apate uhuru. Na huo uhuru tunao, tutunze kwa heshima ya huyo mama, na tuboreshe umoja wetu, utu wetu vile vile. And may the Lord rest our soul in everlasting peace.
Tukiwa mahali kama hapa ni kuhimiza tu wananchi wa Kenya tuendelee kuungana, tukemee ukabila, tukemee ufisadi, na tuhakikishe ya kwamba mwaka ujao tukienda kwa kura, nyinyi wa viongozi wa kanisa mtuombee inji iwe na amani, tusije kupoteza maisha ya mtu yoyote au kuharibu mali au mtu yoyote kujeruhiwa kwa sababu ya siasa.
Let's now move on to education matters. The Ministry of Education has disbursed 17.5 billion shillings for the free primary and secondary education in the 2021-2022 financial year. 2.6 billion shillings will go to learners in primary schools, while 14.8 billion shillings will support secondary school learners. Irene Muchuma Odim puts that story into perspective.
The Ministry of Education has released the 17.5 billion shillings capitation money for primary and secondary education. The funds released Tuesday is to ensure that learners who reported to school on Monday are not returned home. 2.62 billion shillings has been injected into primary schools, while 14.85 billion shillings of the funds will cater for secondary school learners. The government is now urging principals to keep all learners at their respective schools to ensure no part of class time is lost during the shortened academic calendar. A statement further directs principals to dialogue with parents of learners with fees balances in boarding schools to find practical ways of clearing the arrears. The ministry says additional fees outside of the official guidelines will not be tolerated. Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha says the funds are meant to ensure the country embraces 100% secondary school transition policy. Irene Mchuma Odim, Prime Edition.
To the pandemic status in the country, Kenya recorded 1,085 new COVID-19 positive cases out of a sample size of 7,067 in the last 24 hours. This now translates to a positivity rate of 15.4%. Total confirmed positive cases now stand at 205,356, and cumulative tests so far conducted are 2.1 million. And on a sad note, 25 patients have succumbed to the disease, one of them in the last 24 hours, while 24 are late deaths reported after conducting facility record audits on diverse dates. According to a statement from the Ministry of Health, this now pushes the total fatalities to 3,995. Now globally, total positive cases now stands at 199,122,825, while total fatalities are 4,240,173. So far, 4.1 billion doses of vaccine have been administered globally. Let's stay safe. The positivity rate does not look so good in the country. Now, elsewhere, the Kenya Forest Service Green Zones Development Support Project Phase 2 has today received a major boost of 15 tractors and 3 field vehicles. This is part of its efforts to rehabilitate over 300,000 hectares of degraded natural forest. Speaking during the flag-off ceremony at Karura Forest, Chief Conservator of Forest Julius Kamau noted that the vehicles will support nursery operations and transport seedlings to planting sites during tree planting seasons in 15 forest sites around Mount Kenya Forest, Aberdares and the Mau ecosystems.
Kenya Forest Service Chief Conservator of Forest Julius Kamau during the flag-off ceremony of 18 motor vehicles to be used in the restoration of forest cover in 15 counties. Mau calling on more partnership in conservation efforts to actualize rehabilitation of 357,000 hectares of degraded natural forests.
The Kenya Forest Service has put in place a very strong partnership and linkage initiative to be able to rally partners who can come and join us and support us and complement our effort to be able to advance our mandate to conserve and protect these public forest resources.
He noted that the 6 years Green Zone Development Support Project Phase 2 is being supported by the African Development Bank and in its second year. Kenya's forest cover is estimated to be at about 7.4%, way below the global recommendation of a minimum of 10%. With the acquisition of these motor vehicles, the country is clearly on its way to planting 60 million trees in 6 years. He said the project has begun transforming forest covers and contributing to the country's climate change resilience through conservation and livelihoods and a boost to food security.
African Development Bank injected about $50 million, while the Kenyan government injected $5 million. And the main objective is to conserve our forest resources, but also support community livelihood for sustainable forest management. Beyond that, it will support us in restocking our plantation areas, and it has continued to do so in the last 2 years. It will support us in developing woodlot within the farmland and supporting various income-generating activities among the communities. It's a holistic project.
On his part, Kenya Forest Service Chairman Peter Kimathi Kinyua said they intend to plant more trees as well as improve the welfare of the service staff to actualize the project's theme.
Kenya Forest Service lately has gone into a lot of partnerships with our development, with the national development partners, and asking them to support us with housing of our rangers. So I believe as a board and also as management, we are also looking towards supporting yourselves as we try and achieve this.
For Prime Edition, I'm Ben Troinjue.
Very well, that story brings us to our first break in this live broadcast.
Absolutely. Stay with us. We have more news coming up shortly.
Mungu awabariki. Nataka rambi pia chama cha kidole kwa chama cha kazi kutingisha kabisa moto moto harambe ndio sema nyayo harambe wananchi wetu pamoja na watoto wetu harambe umoja na amani na kupendana harambe.
Fanya nini?
Hujui ulichokifanya. Hujui. Ni kwa sababu kichwa chako ndo maana mimi siwezi niko hapa. Ungenisikiza tusingepata ajali.
Kwani wataka kuwa journalist, utakuwa media personnel, photographer, sikuelewi.
Oh, yeah. Nataka kuwa hiyo.
Badi atatoroka vipi from such an institution? Hakuna mwingine naye ni wewe peke yake.
Mimi sina mtoto. Tuna fidhuli na mjeuri kama Ubadi cheese.
Safari waletea mzaa, sio?
Welcome back to this live broadcast.
Remember, we are live on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1 News on Twitter. The hashtag to use tonight is Prime Edition.
Very well. Speak to us. Now, moving on, at least 2,500 donkeys, cats and dogs have been vaccinated in Mwala area of the Machakos County in an exercise that will see over 10,000 pets vaccinated by the end of the week. African Network for Animal Welfare Coordinator Dr. Dennis Bahati says that they've chosen Machakos County as it is one of the counties with high cases of rabies infections in Kenya.
Vaccination of cats, donkeys and dogs in Mwala, Machakos County. One might be mistaken for thinking this is an animal show. The vaccination that saw 2,500 donkeys, cats and dogs vaccinated was so vital that even some residents brought their pets using wheelbarrows.
Sasa nilikuwa naleta umbo zangu sisi ya kudungwa sindano ya kichaa. Ndio sababu nikaona nipepe na wheelbarrow sababu ilikuwa na shida mingi, yani nakuanga na vita nyingi sana kwa mboma.
Others could be seen carrying their pets using sacks to get that special dose. If only they could talk, the message here is clear. The pain is too much to endure.
Leta hizi umbo zangu sipate chanjo. Nizuie in case sikiuma mtu nisipate shida sana.
Tumelea mbwa 5 zetu ni 5. Hizi zingine ni za majirani. Na tukaona juu mbwa zinadungwa shindano tuzilete zote.
If only they could talk, the message here is clear. The pain is too much to endure. According to statistics, over 2,000 Kenyans die annually and 60,000 people globally because of rabies.
The whole strategy focuses on how we can eradicate this disease because we know it's very, very dangerous and even based on research.
The National Rabies Eradication Program seeks to enhance mass anti-rabies vaccination, public education and population management so as to eradicate rabies owing to its mortality rate. The whole vaccination exercise is free and set to take the whole week. The entire exercise will cost between 5 and 6 million shillings. Timothy Kipnusu for Prime Edition.
From the counties, 9 people accused of corruption charges together with MATHIRA MP Rigathi Gachagua have been released on bond of between 500,000 shillings and 3 million. The 9 denied the charges of conspiracy to defraud Nyeri County government of 27.4 million shillings for purportedly supply of dialysis machines to Nyeri Provincial General Hospital. Ruth Wambui with the details in our news roundup.
The 9 charged include MATHIRA CDF manager William Mwangi Wahome, Andrew Taruo, Julian Jahenda Maka, and Samuel Murimi Ireri, among others.
Accused 9 and 10 to be released on a bond of 3 million with 1 surety of a similar amount or a cash bail of 1.5 million shillings.
Still in the corridors of justice, a chief and 2 senior police officers charged with receiving 50,000 shillings bribe have been released on a bond of 500,000 shillings.
Document presented to you is not a document that the court was to rely on, and we urge the court to cancel the bond and the bail terms for the accused person. He proceeds with his case.
Elsewhere, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya has issued a stern warning to politicians who are inciting residents of Laikipia to withdraw their children from schools citing insecurity.
Kuhusu mambo ya masomo nimesema kwamba by tomorrow nataka wanafunzi wote wakuwa wamerudi kwa shule. Maana hii shule ambapo tuko within the neighborhood about 1 kilometer away from here kuna Kabati police post. Kwa hivyo ni area ambayo iko na vituo vya usalama vya kutosha, na hata mwalimu pia amedhibitisha hapa hakuna jambo hata moja limefanyika kwa hii shule.
And the National Land Commission Chairperson Gershom Otachi has assured the residents of Ijara constituency in Garissa County that the government will fully compensate for land lying on the Lapset Corridor project. Speaking during a public forum at Bodhia sub-county, Otachi said that NLC is working closely with Kenha and Kenya Pipeline Company to establish exactly where the roads and pipelines will pass so that they can compensate the landowners.
Na idara hizi zote, kazi yetu sasa inakuwa ni kufuatilia utaratibu wa kufidia watu, kujua ni nani analipwa kiasi gani na mambo kama hayo.
Meanwhile, Samburu County government has issued 9 million shillings in form of bursaries to enable Form 1 in Samburu County join secondary school.
The money is going a long way to support the poor students from the county and beside the scholarships we have been giving.
For Prime Edition, I'm Ruth Wamboi.
And Ruth's report brings us to the second break. A short one. We'll be back and Purity will be driving the business agenda. Don't go away.
Kupata skiza tune ya Karau na DJ, bonyeza *811*967#.
Raya, hii ni kwa matiche wote. Please, do not confuse the government. Usianza kufinya ile kitu inasema more fire. Ama ile ya the roof is on fire. Ama unaanza kusema we are killing this party. Ama the party is just a bomb. We are having a blast. No. Wewe cheza musiki and just be Fitland. Enjoy. Ama namna kani. Sawa. Over and out.
Bonyeza *811*967#. *811*967#.
What does this number mean to you? A pack leader? A winner? Or just a number? To us, it means freshness, boldness, vibrancy, and heritage. That's why at KBC Channel 1, we make it easier for you to pop up your family entertainment to a fresh, exciting, and colorful bouquet.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for staying with us. It's now time for business news. And your favorite pub or restaurant risks having its operating license suspended for a year, listed and shamed if found flouting the COVID-19 safety protocols. Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala says this is part of the revised Magical Kenya travel safety protocols geared at keeping the hospitality industry operational during these COVID-19 times.
In the first 6 months of this year, Kenya received only 300,000 tourists through the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Amid the increasing COVID-19 cases, the Ministry of Tourism has revised protocols to keep tourist inflows. Under the new protocols, the spotlight is on bars, eateries and restaurants that now face the risk of having their operating licenses suspended for a year.
We've agreed, particularly with pubs and restaurants who break the law. We will shame them. We'll have a list of shame so that people do not destroy the sector because of a few greedy people. And we will take action on those individuals. PERAC is here. They have committed to us, and they said whoever of their members or non-members in that sector break the law, we will name them and we'll take action. And I said very clear that even their licenses will be cancelled for 1 year.
The protocols also require hospitality industry players to verify that all their visitors at their premises have a negative test upon arrival as well as during departure, irrespective of their vaccination status.
The Delta variant is more dangerous, so we will need you to have the PCR certificate to show it is negative for you to come into the country, so that we are sure that you are not coming with a virus. And when you depart the country, you also take a PCR certificate check so that you don't go with the virus outside the country at the same time.
With the revised protocols, all eyes are on the industry players if indeed they can self-regulate as required.
We are now going out and encouraging all our members, all tourism players, to please get your staff vaccinated, because what we have seen is that our clients also want to have that confidence that they are coming to be served in a safe environment. If they are coming vaccinated themselves, they would like to encounter teams of staff that are fully vaccinated.
Regina Manyara reporting for the Prime Edition.
Moving on, the Geothermal Development Company Tuesday signed a collaboration deal with Baringo County government on, among others, promotion of direct use of geothermal in farming and manufacturing, as well as industrial parks. Geothermal Development Company MD Engineer Jared Othieno says steam would directly be used in fish ponds, greenhouses, milk, pasteurization and laundry services.
Kenya has mainly utilized geothermal steam for electricity generation with little done for direct use. The Geothermal Development Company, which has so far drilled 4 geothermal wells in the Baringo Silali geothermal block, has signed a collaboration deal with Baringo County government to, among others, explore the direct use of geothermal steam in greenhouses, fish ponds, milk pasteurization, laundry and tourism activities. This is expected to involve the local communities and support the achievement of the government's Big Four agenda.
The government seeks to achieve food security by increasing large-scale production of staple foods. The move is expected to increase by a significant amount the level of crop production in the country. Greenhouses and fish ponds heated using geothermal energy will complement the food security agenda.
Borrowing from some developed countries whose economies are hinged on industrial parks, Engineer Othieno said GDC and Baringo County would spearhead development of geothermal-powered industrial parks in the area.
GDC and Baringo County will collaborate in, among other areas, marketing of geothermal energy technology, geothermal direct use feasibility studies, investments in geothermal energy technology, and development of geothermal-powered industrial parks.
In that very region, we have started to map. And in our county, we have mapped and dissected into almost 9 as industrial, economic hubs.
In Kenya, there are a few direct use applications with a health spa in Olkaria and Baringo, crop dryers at Eburu, greenhouse heating at Oserian and water harvesting at both Eburu and Suswa. Betty Kiptum, Prime Edition.
Kenyan fintech WapiPay has raised $2.2 million in pre-seed funding that will fund the scaling up of global payments and remittances between Africa and Asia. This non-equity pre-seed raise is one of the largest for a fintech in Eastern Africa, coming 2 weeks after food tech startup raised $1 million.
Traders sending and receiving money between Asia and Africa have to endure high remittances fees of up to 15% of the amount, a wait period of up to 5 days, and are exposed to the high risk of consistent reversals due to unmatched instructions. WapiPay, a fintech based in Singapore and headquartered in Kenya, is promising to solve these challenges. The fintech has received a $2.2 million investment to scale up its operations. The investment was led by China-based global fund MSA Capital, who said Africa to Asia is a large trading corridor overlooked and underserved by tech today. MSA says, "We believe WapiPay is the best team to build the necessary infrastructure to support its growing trade volumes. We are excited to support with our extensive China fintech network and playbook." Additional investors were EcoVC and Kepo Africa Ventures, joining existing investors Future Hub, Gobi Ventures and Transon Holding. Edindichu, Co-founder at WAPIPE said the funds will help WAPIPE diversify its product range and drive growth, thus evolve remittances into real-time global cross-border payments starting with Africa and Asia. Sub-Saharan Africa remains the most expensive region to send money to and out, according to the World Bank, with the average cost of sending $200 being 8.02% of the principal amount compared with 4.64% for South Asia, the lowest cost globally. Seamless payment platforms such as WAPIPE are expected to help ease trade and investments. Sub-Saharan Africa remains the most expensive region to send money to and out, according to the World Bank, with an average cost of sending $200 being 8.02% of the principal amount compared with 4.64% for South Asia, the lowest cost globally. Seamless payment platforms such as WAPIPE are expected to help ease trade and investments. For Prime Edition, I'm Brian Munyuoki.
LIMURU Milk and Processing Plant in Kiambu County has been reopened after 10 years, promising a market for over 3,500 members of the LIMURU Dairy Cooperative. However, the processing plant's chairperson Joguna Chege says more than 150 million shillings is needed to finance a new milk pasteurizing machine and long-life milk machine since the existing ones have broken down.
Access to market remains a key challenge for farmers across the country, and for dairy farmers, the farm gate price is one that they are keen on, given the high cost of production. In LIMURU, farmers had been facing challenges selling their milk after the LIMURU Milk and Processing Plant was closed down 10 years ago. There is good news after the management of the factory announced its reopening, offering a new market for dairy farmers in the area.
What spoils the prices of milk is when we get milk from outside the country. We are happy that these days the government has done what is humanly possible to avoid milk coming from outside the country.
However, the management of the factory says they need about 150 million shillings to do repairs and replace some key machinery to make the factory modern. Among those machinery earmarked for replacement is a pasteurizing machine, as well as putting in place a long-life milk production line.
Kubaliana tunaweza chagia kwa mkulima, anaweza katwa shilingi 1 au shilingi 2 kwa sababu tayari maziwa tuko naye. Our production yetu imeshaenda juu. Kwa hivyo tutashikana pamoja na our leaders na tukubaliana watukate kitu kidogo kwa upande wa maziwa ili tuweze kushikana na our national government na county government ili sasa to revive hiyo process yetu.
The National Agricultural and Rural Inclusive Growth Project has committed to spend 100 million shillings on revamping the plant, with the Kiambu County government pledging to chip in 35 million shillings.
Tukifikia hapo kwa kupack maziwa yenyewe, tutakuwa na kujivunia sana kuwa soko yetu itaendelea kuwa juu na tutakuwa na pesa.
We know we have very good quality milk in LIMURU. So we are hoping to make the best and we are looking forward. I'm sure we'll beat them all.
Was speaking during a field visit where area farmers welcomed the decision to open the factory.
Elsewhere, Microsoft and International Finance Corporation have signed a joint program that will avail digital tools and training resources aimed at modernizing supply chains. The initiative will see mobile platforms piloted in 4 countries, including Kenya. The program seeks to boost farmers' productivity and revenue.
Data-driven agriculture has been backed to improve yields around the world, especially in developing nations. Microsoft Africa and the International Finance Corporation, IFC, are looking to increase the uptake of data-driven agriculture in Africa through a mobile platform that targets 50,000 farmers and 50 cooperatives in 4 countries. The pilot phase of the program will be implemented in Kenya, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire and Uganda. The initiative is informed by the fact that digital technology can improve the operation of key supply chains in the food system through greater agricultural efficiencies, improved business practices, traceability, food safety, and access to finance. The use of digital tools in Africa's agriculture sector remains limited, often because of infrastructure, affordability, awareness, and regulatory issues. Through such initiatives, players hope to boost food security. Agribusiness contributes about 25% of Africa's GDP and 70% of its employment. Microsoft says digital technology is one way to boost agricultural production and efficiencies. In the long term, the partnership between Microsoft and IFC seeks to deepen the understanding of factors that drive the adoption and use of digital solutions among smallholder farmers, farmer cooperatives, and other actors in the agriculture supply chain. Betty Kiptum, Prime Edition.
And across Africa, Uganda Airlines has pushed its expansion plans to the end of the year, citing COVID-19 travel restrictions on its planned destinations. Uganda Airlines had earlier announced plans to commence in July long-haul trips to Europe, India, China, and the Middle East, but these have now been pushed to the last quarter of this year. Here are the details of this and other stories from across the African continent.
The United Arab Emirates and the United Kingdom have slapped bans on direct flights from Uganda. Uganda Airlines had earlier targeted 4 destinations: Mumbai, London, Dubai, and Guangzhou. The airline says flights to Heathrow will commence in December following a review of the United Kingdom red list. It plans to start flights to Mumbai in November, subject to the Ugandan government lifting a ban on direct flights between Entebbe and India. Uganda Airlines is currently running a 4-craft fleet of Bombardier CRJ-900 aircraft. The airline flies regional routes such as Kinshasa, Nairobi, Dar es Salaam, Juba, Mogadishu, and Kilimanjaro. Meanwhile, Egypt published the first pictures of LE10 and 20 plastic notes that will officially issue next November from the new printing press of the Central Bank of Egypt in the new administrative capital. The production of the new currency will be carried out with the latest currency production lines in the world and with the latest insurance specifications at the international level, stressing that the new LE10 and LE20 will be circulated alongside the current currency. The new plastic money is expected to reduce the cost of printing the traditional currency, as it is made of polymer that is harmless to the environment and has twice the lifespan of the paper currency. Finally, Rwanda raised $620 million from investors as it sold international bonds for only the second time, making it the latest of a flurry of African nations to take advantage of recent benign conditions in bond market. The sale of the new 10-year debt attracted orders of more than $1.6 billion. According to bankers arranging the deal, investors have been drawn to relatively high yielding emerging market dollar bonds in recent weeks, and the plunge in developed country bond yields. Monday's Rwandan bond follows a second visit to the international bond and market by Benin last month, and dollar debt sales by Cameroon and Senegal in June.
And that's it for business news this Tuesday night. Richard Monga is on standby with the latest from the sports desk. Richard, it's good to see you. What do we expect?
Well, Purity, the conversation that's being had since the week started and last week was why is Kenya not performing at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games in Japan? Well, we still have chances of winning gold medals. Of course, tomorrow we have the 3,000 meters final. We have Beatrice Chepkoech, the world champion, and we have Hyvin Kieng also, and we'll also be taking part in a few of the semi-finals ahead, or some finals on Thursday and Friday. So all that is in store for you for sports, KBC Sports tonight.
It's not been a good, really, week for Kenya. You know what I mean? 3,000 meters, we lost that. And
that's the men, though. We still have